Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I will be doing your money, wealth, finance, prosperity, abundance reading for the month of March 2021. If this is your first time catching one of my readings, I do want to say welcome, and I invite you to subscribe because I do these readings each and every month, and I would love to share your money message with you. For the readings this month, I will be using my Groovy Weight Tarot deck, one of my all-time favorites. I will clarify with my Radiant Rider Waite Tarot, and then Taurus, I will close out your reading with a intuitive life coaching oracle card. It's a brand new oracle deck that I'm working with this month, and I will share all the details once we get to the end of your reading. All right, Taurus, I think that is it as far as an intro goes. Let's go ahead and jump right in and see what shows up for you as it relates to your money, wealth, and finance, prosperity, all those good things. Ooh, for the month of March 2021. All right, what do we need to know? For the sign of Taurus. All right, Taurus, well, I was already picking up a very relaxed energy when I first started shuffling your cards, and I can see here that yeah, you know, things are pretty relaxed for you. Let me make sure I'm in frame here and nobody is cut off. But as we move into the month of March, you're going to feel very emotionally balanced. You're also going to feel really just... I know the word passionate gets overused, but that's really what I'm seeing here with this Ace of Cups. You're going to feel passionate, joy, really just fulfilled in a very deep way when it comes to your work and when it comes to your money. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that this means that you are definitely in flow, you're moving in the right direction. Either you're trusting your intuition, or you just kind of know that your guides are taking you where you want to go, and you know that you will get to whatever the goals are that you set to yourself, especially the ones that are financially related. Now, the good thing about the Ace of Cups, it means that if something is not already brewing for you right now, something beautiful is going to start money related in the first week of March. Now, this could be you move into, you know, maybe a brand new home, or you start a job with your dream company, or maybe you partner with, you know, someone that you've always wanted to work with, or someone you've always wanted to connect with. It's a very whole heart. Like I said, the word passion just keeps coming up over and over again. It's just a very heart-filled thing here. And, you know, it's just a very heartwarming energy. And it's very, very good, because that means that March is going to really be just a beautiful month for you. Now, we also have the Lover's card here. And the Lover's card in the reverse talks about a divine separation. So you're probably going to be gracefully moving away from something or someone, or, you know, very... I don't know if compassion is the word, but again, you know, there's going to be some empathy here. It's like you finally know that it's probably time to release something or someone. Maybe something is not serving you and it's not working out for you, especially, again, things that have a money tied to it. But this is not going to be something that's painful or something that's, you know, negative. It's just, it's a very graceful, you know, separation here. And the good thing about this is that this is something that you have already known that probably needed to be done, you know, at this time. And the separating from this is actually something that really frees up your energy in order to bring in more money, bring in more wealth, or to focus on your work, or to focus on these projects that you're going to be tapping into throughout the month. Now we also have the Hermit here. The Hermit is a card of solitude, also really kind of taking a step back and going within and trying to figure out exactly what it is that we want to do, or how we want to do it, or who do we want to do our certain thing with. The Hermit is a time to really reflect and really get a lot of clarity about how we're going to create the ultimate dream life that we want. Now, the beautiful thing about the Hermit card is that this is usually a time also of enlightenment. And this is enlightenment or information or knowledge that probably would not come any other way other than you having to take some time for yourself. So if you feel like you need to step back, especially in the beginning of March, because you really need to figure some stuff out, on your own, do not hesitate to do that. Energetically, we can see here that that definitely is going to be the right thing to do. Next, we got the Seven of Pentacles. This means that, work is going to be good, just may not be exciting, but you are considering some other options. This is exciting in itself because you know that eventually things are probably going to take a different shape. You also know that even though you don't necessarily hate your work or hate your job or hate your business or whatever it is, you know that there's probably something else on the horizon for you, and you are starting to kind of move in that direction. We also have the Five of Wands here. Now, this is the only card we need to be careful about because this talks about strained communication. Now, when we are trying to develop something in business, work, money, investments, whatever the case may be, communication is very important. So pay attention to the words that are said, the exchanges that happen between you and other people at this time, because there could be some misunderstandings, could be maybe, I don't even want to say arguments because I'm not picking up on that, but maybe a disagreement or two. And you really want to make sure that everybody is on the same page and that people are hearing what you say, and not misinterpreting anything. Finally, we got the Nine of Pentacles here. Now, the Nine of Pentacles is one of my favorite cards because this card is really about luxury. However, when she shows up in the reverse, this means that we have to be careful to do any type of frivolous spending. We have to be very mindful with the money that is coming to us and the money that is flowing through us. And we have to make sure that we're not doing anything impulsively. Sometimes she shows up too when, maybe we're being a little bit indulgent and probably not being careful with the finances. However, again, I'm not picking up that this is an extreme, but I am feeling like this is kind of a heads up, kind of a warning. Like, hey, pay attention, try not to do any impulse shopping, and really be mindful of the purchases and the spending that you're doing at this time. All right, Taurus, let's continue on and see what else shows up for you as it relates to money, wealth, finances. Prosperity and abundance for the month of March 2021. What do we need to know for the sign of Taurus? All right, Taurus, we got a fun card here. Smoky. This card is unique to this deck. And it talks about paying attention to the signs. But let's start here with the High Priestess in the reverse. The High Priestess in the reverse means we're not trusting our intuition. We're not trusting our inner gut. Maybe we're feeling a little doubtful or maybe not as confident about our decisions. And so we're kind of second guessing ourselves here. Taurus, I want you to pay attention to this because these two cards are related. Well, actually, all of these cards are related. But we already have that you're moving in the direction of something that you wholeheartedly love. The thing is that there's going to be some things where you're going to have to make some decisions based on your own intuition and based on your own inner guidance. And maybe you're not feeling so comfortable to do that. The High Priestess tells us that, you're fully capable of making the right decisions for you at this time. You don't have to second guess or doubt yourself, and you're going to have to pay attention to the signs that appear before you, or any information that comes your way. Smoky, this card here talks about paying attention to the signs. We've all heard that saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. Well, this card is kind of telling us something very similar. What are the signs? What are the symbols, or what are the coincidences, or what is the information that is being filtered or delivered to us that maybe we're not acknowledging as something that could be useful when we're trying to make decisions about our money and our future and our wealth and our work and all these things. So you're going to have some warning signs, and I want you to make sure that you trust your own feelings when it comes to money related decisions, especially anything related to your career, to your work. I also feel too like this is also going to be something where there's going to be a big purchase involved. Some of you are probably real estate investors. Maybe some of you are gold and silver investors. Maybe some of you are involved in cryptocurrency. And so it's going to involve some money that you're probably not quite sure if this is the right thing, and it's going to be kind of scary. But you're going to know. You just have to trust your gut, and you have to know that you will have everything you need when you need it in order to move forward. Next, we have the Temperance card. Now, this is a beautiful card to see in the upright because Temperance talks about holistic balance. So you're not going to really be out of sync with anything as long as you're moving towards what it is that you're trying to create for yourself, and as long as you're trusting yourself. The other thing about Temperance is that she is someone who has a very calm confidence about her. And I really want you to embrace that for the month of March, Taurus, and understand that you may not feel 100% confident, but you have enough confidence in yourself that you can really dictate, how things kind of take shape in your life, and how things show up for you, and how you show up for yourself. Temperance also talks about really just kind of making sure everything is taken care of. When we talk about balance, you're not going to invest, all of your, rent money or the mortgage payment. You're going to make sure that if you are investing, all of your bills are covered. Everything is in balance. Nothing is going to suffer, or you're not going to have any lack in somewhere else because you're doing something in a different area. So I hope that makes sense. We also have the Nine of Swords here, and we have the Two of Swords, both of these in reverse. The Nine of Swords talks about, you're going to really feel maybe a little bit anxious, but over time that will subside once you kind of take action, once you kind of set up some parameters and some barriers for yourself so you don't get a little bit too carried away as it relates to your money. You're going to be just fine. You're not going to worry. You're not going to stress. You're not going to be up late at night feeling overwhelmed or discouraged or anything like that. You're really going to be in a very good place. But again, it's something that you're going to have to take some kind of preparation or preparatory steps in order to make that happen. So just understand that, again, you're going to pay attention to the signs that show up. You're going to trust yourself. You're going to create balance as it relates to your money and your finances, and you're going to be just fine. Now, the other thing is the Two of Swords here, and the Two of Swords talks about having to make a really tough decision and not knowing which way to go. Because this is in the reverse, it tells me that you will eventually make the best decision for you, considering where you're at, what you have access to, your resources, your experience, your skill set. You're going to be just fine. So I don't want you to stress when it comes to making financial decisions, because it looks like, again, you're going to be fully supported in one way or another, and you will do the right thing for you. So for those of you who are looking to maybe start a business, or if you're looking to invest, trust yourself. I understand when we're not familiar with something, or if it's our first time doing something big like buying a home or buying a car or investing or whatever the case may be, sometimes we rely on the experiences of other people. But I'm here to tell you that you are going to do best trusting your own intuition. And I hope whoever needed to hear that really embraces that. All right, Taurus, let's see what else shows up for you. As it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. For the month of March 2021. What do we need to know for the sign of Taurus? Okay, so as we move into the second half of the month, Taurus, we've got some repeaters here, which tells me that there's still going to be some things that kind of start at the beginning of the month that are probably still going to have to be dealt with once we hit the second half of the month. We have the Five of Wands here, which we saw here. We also have the Hermit card, which we saw here. But let's start with the Devil card in reverse. Now, this is a beautiful card to see in the reverse because it means you're breaking free of self-limiting beliefs, maybe some things that are holding you back, maybe some unhealthy attachments, could be toxic relationships, could be addictions, whatever the case may be. Looks like you're breaking free of that. And if you're not fully released from the bondage, I should say, you're going to start moving in that direction, and you're going to see that things are going to start to dissolve, things that just do not serve you and do not support you, in a good way. The other thing is we've got the Page of Swords here. This talks about some news and information about something being stopped or discontinued. This is probably something that I have a feeling maybe you're not probably expecting. The Page of Swords, again, it's an announcement, it's a message, it's information that something is going to change, and usually that change involves the stopping or the eliminating or the pausing of something. Again, because we're talking about everything in the context of money and finances, I have a feeling that this is probably going to be something where, something is going to be stopped. Now, it could be a payment, it could be a bill, it could be a fee, anything, the thing is just to pay attention and really kind of do what you can to gauge with the timing of this so you can be kind of on the proactive and you're not really caught off guard. Next, we got the King of Pentacles, one of my favorite cards. The King of Pentacles talks about investing. He also talks about financial literacy. So this is the card that you want to see when you're trying to be knowledgeable and learn about money, when you're trying to figure out what you want to do with your money. The King of Pentacles is someone who does not take risks. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly what everyone's plans are, and of course I probably will never know, but you don't want to take any unnecessary risks with your money. He's a very conservative type of investor. He's a very someone who only really gets involved in things that he understands. Okay, this is not like a speculative energy. This is something where it's like, okay, I'm very familiar with this and this is where I'm going to invest. Excuse me. Or it's someone who says, I'm very interested in this. I still don't know all I need to know in order to make a really good decision. So I'm going to spend more time getting educated about whatever it may be. Again, we're going to have to pay attention to communication here. It fell onto, in that same line here. So I have a feeling that whatever was, excuse me, whatever was happening here, it continues as we move into the second half of the month. Okay, so again, just pay attention to your words. Make sure everybody understands and doesn't misinterpret anything. If you have to write stuff down so people say, hey, this is what you said, this is what I said, take notes, do what you got to do. Also, the same thing with the Hermit card. Looks like you're going to have to be spending some more time solo. The Hermit card talks about, again, taking a step back, going within and trying to figure things out for yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Take all the time you need and don't apologize for it, Taurus. If you need to kind of remove yourself from a certain situation just so you can get clarity and get some understanding, then by all means do so. Finally, we have the Tower card. Now, the Tower card, this is an interesting card because I'm feeling like this is going to be the breakdown of something. And there's going to be a financial tie to it. Now, when I say the breakdown of something, it could be the breakdown of something literally. You know, could be a vehicle, could be a washing machine, whatever, you know, whatever. The other thing is that this could literally mean the deconstructing of something. So let's say you had a project, all pieces were in place, you had everything was a go, and then something comes up or something happens or somebody backs out, and now the whole entire project has to be taken apart and you have to start over from scratch. You know, it's not anything that's devastating, but at the same time, it's highly inconvenient. And in the case of, say, a broken down car or washing machine or, you know, whatever, it could be an expense. You know, maybe an expense that we weren't expecting. Whatever the case may be, pay attention here to the second half of March and maybe, you know, put some money aside. You know, this may not happen for everybody, but I do feel like this is something energetically. So there will be something that does have to, something that needs attention. And usually when things need attention, or in our case, attention is energy. When something needs energy, then it will, like I said, disassemble in some way. Something may need to be replaced. Something may need to be fixed. Something may need to be, you know, scrapped, and then you start over because maybe the original plan was not as secure as it should have been. Okay, but again, this is nothing to worry about. This happens to everybody. But it's more like I said, I'm feeling like it's more of a heads up. The second half of March, Taurus, you know, make sure you've got your little emergency fund, you know, or if you're worried about your car or something like that, you know, maybe take it to your mechanic earlier in the month and say, hey, can you just check and make sure everything is working properly? Because I don't want to be, you know, stranded on the side of a road, or I don't want, you know, any big surprises of a huge, you know, mechanic bill or something like that. All right, Taurus, let's continue on and see what else shows up for you. As it relates to money, wealth, finances. Prosperity and abundance for the month of March 2021. I feel like I need one more card. All right, there we go. All right, this is interesting, Taurus, because as we close out the month of March, it looks like you've got a lot of people around you. I mean, check out all these. Yeah, I'm going to pick one more because I feel like there needs to be a card there. All right. Okay. All right, Taurus. We've got 2 kings and 2 knights. Now, when I see a lot of, I guess, court cards, you know, like this, this usually tells me that there's people, right? Because when I get, like, say, 1 somewhere in a reading, then usually that's more symbolic of energy, unless we're specifically inquiring about a person. But in this case, I'm feeling like these are representative of people. So let's start here with the 2 of Pentacles. 2 of Pentacles in the reverse talks about balancing the budget. Pay attention. Everybody's been getting this month. I'm wondering if it's because of, you know, it's tax time and people are trying, well, for those of us in the U.S., I'm not sure anywhere else. But, you know, all of us are having to, you know, kind of get our receipts together, get our papers and everything and our forms. And I'm feeling like this is something that we all are getting and we all have to pay attention to. Our receipts and our statements and our invoices, okay? Pay attention to that because sometimes mistakes do happen. Not that anybody's trying to rip you off, but again, you know, computers are run by human beings and human beings are not perfect. So I'm feeling like you really need to pay attention, Taurus, to all of your bills and your budget. You know, pay attention to your bank statements and all that. Now let's get into these people here. So we've got 2 kings, King of Cups, King of Swords. We also have the King of Pentacles here. Now, the King of Cups, I'm feeling like this is a very gentle-natured person around you, someone who really loves and cares about you, Taurus. The thing about the King of Cups is that he's very emotional. You know, he doesn't hide his feelings. If he likes you, he likes you. If he doesn't, he doesn't. And you don't have to question either way. I'm feeling like this King of Cups is someone who shows up in a very wholehearted way, again, to really support you, and someone who wants to see you do well, someone who wants to take care of you. It could be a father figure, but it could also be a partner, or maybe just a really genuine friend, somebody who truly cares about you and wants to support you in some way. I'm feeling like this person is ready to give you more emotional support, not necessarily financial support. Could be someone who's a mentor or someone who is just really good at listening. And this person shows up for you in a very big way, especially towards the end of the month. Next, we have the King of Swords here in the reverse, and the King of Swords in the reverse is also another male figure, but this doesn't always have to be a male figure. I'm feeling like this is a very sharp-tongued person. The King of Swords can also be a woman. It's a woman who has very masculine energy. Now, I know a lot of us are around people like that. Like there's, you know, some of the females that we may work with, or, you know, people in our lives or in our family. They're women, but they have a very masculine, dominant energy. And that's what I'm feeling with this card here. So again, this doesn't necessarily have to be a male, but the energy is very, very masculine, okay? And this person here, whether it be male or female, is someone who is kind of very domineering, and you have to really kind of put the brakes on this, because this person can be very, very, I don't want to say controlling, but they're very pushy. It's that energy where someone is just very pushy, and they feel like, well, you should do things like this, and you should, you know, you should listen to how I tell you to do it. It's one of those types of people that are very, very aggressive with you, kind of, you know, cooperating with them. And I know we all have those types of people in our life. Next, we got the Knight of Pentacles. We also have the Knight of Swords here. I'm feeling like this Knight of Swords, I'm picking up that this is a timing card. This one's not a person. The Knight of Pentacles, though, is another person. Now, this is a young person. Could be a young man, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. But I'm feeling like for some of you, this is going to be your children, like your adult children. Somebody who, you know, it's like they're independent, but at the same time, you know, they're always asking mom or dad, oh, can you help me out with a few bucks, or someone, you know, something like that, where it's a young person, very young energy. Doesn't necessarily have to be a youth. It could be a full-grown adult who's just immature, but this is somebody who is probably not the most responsible person with money. And the Knight of Pentacles means that this person probably, not that they're going to ask you directly for money, but there's going to be something where money is involved with this young person. Like I said, could be your kids. You know, maybe they don't ask you for money, but they say, oh my gosh, you know, mom or dad, I didn't pay my credit card bill, so, you know, can you pay it? You know, it's something like that is what I'm picking up with this. Now, we have the Two of Swords. This is another repeater card. We had the same card here. It looks like you're going to have to make a tough decision. Now, I'm really feeling like this decision is related to this card here. I don't know why, but I'm feeling like you're going to have to really make a tough decision, because if this person shows up with their hand out or asking you to pay a bill or asking for whatever, you're going to have to decide whether or not you're going to agree to it, Taurus. And I have a feeling that at this point, you may be kind of fed up, and maybe it's about time that you know, it's like you want to say no, but you just don't know how, or maybe you feel guilty if you say no. This is one of those things that needs to be worked through, and this is one of those things that really makes you feel like you don't have a choice. It's like, well, I don't want to help so-and-so, but if I don't, then they get mad, or then this happens, or then I feel guilty, or I feel terrible, or whatever the case may be. So this is something that you need to work on, Taurus, okay? And Taurus, you know, you're very strong. You have a very strong will. So, but I know there's certain people in our lives that we're kind of soft for, you know, and that, like I said, that could be our children, siblings, parents, whatever. All right, Knight of Swords. I'm feeling like this is a timing issue, and I feel like this is the timing issue because the Knight of Swords in reverse fell onto this Tower card, and the Knight of Swords talks about things happening slowly. Things don't happen very quickly. Things don't happen as rapidly or as anticipated in the timing, which means, you know, things go slow, things kind of get delayed, or something happens and, you know, that something stops that was already in progress. So remember, we talked about something that had to be broken down or something that had to be disassembled. Looks like that's going to be a slow process according to this Knight of Swords. Finally, we have the Two of Wands here. The Two of Wands talks about putting future plans on hold. Almost every sign got this card because everybody's having to put plans on hold. We still don't know what the year is going to bring. So we're all trying to figure out what we're going to do next. If we can go on vacation, if we can, you know, travel, if we're going to be able to move, or, you know, whatever the case may be, future plans are definitely going to be put on hold. All right, Taurus. So you've got a very, I want to say a cooperative month, but it looks like it's going to be a very mechanical month. And I say that because there's going to be a lot of things that you're going to have to tinker with, right, in order to kind of shape it into what it is that you want. So get ready. It's going to be an interesting month. But you know what? It's going to be also a month of being prepared. So I don't want you to worry, and I don't want you to feel anxious. All right, so now we have the Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle deck made by Kelly Smith. She so graciously shared this deck with me, and it's absolutely beautiful. My favorite thing about the deck is that it is very practical and very easy to read and very easy to understand. So, Taurus, we got for you card number 65. And this is this is Karma. I was going to say this is card Karma, but this is the Karma card. It says you may be involved in a situation that requires justice or fairness. Now, this is very interesting because energetically, yeah, I can see that. I can see that very clearly in your reading here. So there are going to be some situations that require justice and or fairness. So like I said, it's about being prepared and it's about getting ready and really putting some, you know, protector things in place for yourself for the month of March. All right, Taurus, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, observations, drop them down below. And I want to thank you for choosing to spend this time with me. We'll do it all again next month.